Ever want the strength in the front end on your Can-Am Maverick X3? Well, SuperATV's got you covered with our heavy-duty shock tower brace. It's made of 1/8" steel, backed by a lifetime warranty, and a super easy installation. So let's jump right in. So we're gonna go ahead and remove our hood from our machine. Just pops right off. And we're gonna come in here, we're gonna have 2 T30 Torx as well as 2 push pins. We'll go ahead and remove those. Then we're going to come right here. You're going to see there is a T30 Torx right here in the fender. We'll go ahead and remove it. And there's going to be one right here as well. And then in the same places on the opposite side. Then we're going to go ahead and pop this panel out right here, just as if you were going to put fuel in your machine. And there's going to be a T30 right here. We'll go ahead and remove that as well. And then we're going to go ahead and disconnect all the wiring that attaches to the front fascia. So we're going to unplug our headlights on the passenger side, and the headlights as well as the radiator fan on the driver's side. So we're going to remove this plug right here as well as this plug right here. Just reach in, pick up on the tab, pop it straight out. And our radiator fan plug, we'll disconnect that as well. And we already went ahead and unclipped all of our harness off of our front fascia. You'll want to make sure you do that after you get everything unplugged. That way we can pull the front fascia right off the machine. And then we're going to remove the 2 T20s that secure the headlights to the front fascia. We'll do the same thing over here on this opposite side. We'll just go ahead and remove the screw. All right, and then we're going to come right here. We're going to remove these 2 10mm, and there as well as there. So, if your machine has never had the factory rivets drilled out of the lower portion of the front fascia, you'll want to go ahead and do that. We've already done it, and we had bolts in ours. Now, once you've done that, you're going to want to come up here where your fascia ties in towards the front of the cage of the machine. And you'll just want to pull it out. There'll be a couple tabs that where it snaps down into the machine. Just want to make sure they pop out, just like this. And you're going to go back here on your factory shock tower and pull your fascia up and around it. Just like that right there. And once you get it at this point, you'll just grab a hold of it. So then what you're going to want to go ahead and do is you're going to want to loosen the nuts for your shocks. We've already done this. And we have our machine on a lift and sitting on the ground. So all the pressure is pretty much taken off the shock to where we can remove the bolt. You want to make sure that you do this. You don't want to have to force the bolt out. You don't want to have to run it out with an impact. That's just going to mess the sleeves up on the shocks and potentially the threads on your bolts. So we'll go ahead and we'll thread our nuts off here. I'll show you what it should look like. They both just pull right out. What I usually do is I just pull them out, slide them down and out of the way, get my bolts off of them. Sometimes you'll have to take this radiator and kind of move it around a little bit. Just like that. And there's our factory mount. And we'll go ahead and we'll remove our factory hardware because we'll be reusing it with our new SuperATV Shock Tower Brace. So now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna find out a good place to slide our radiator out of the way. Personally, I like to take the radiator and just kind of slide it over here to the side. You know, put the least amount of tension you can. You don't want to tear anything up. You don't want to bust any hoses or bust the radiator or anything like that. So I just kind of like to slide it over here out of the way. We can get to everything that we're going to need to get to. We'll need to get to these two holes right here, as well as this hole, and then a hole on the opposite side in the same location. So now we're going to grab our new shock tower brace out of the box. We're going to make sure that all our wiring is pulled out of the way. We want to tuck everything back. And we're just going to go right down behind the radiator here. Get it slid in position. So once we have it somewhat slid into position here, we're going to go ahead and get our long bolts. Now we're attaching our shocks to the frame of the machine. We're going to go ahead and get those lined back up. So we got a hardware push through. We'll just put our nuts on the back side. Just getting them started. We don't want to tighten them up just yet. Now we're going to grab our provided hardware and install them into the factory holes. So on the sides, like this hole right here, where it lines up, we're going to use the short hardware that's provided in the kit. And on the ones that are in the center, we're going to use the long hardware that's provided in the kit. All right, once we've got our two outer screws installed, we're gonna grab the two longer ones, and these are gonna go right down through here. What I do is I usually just grab a hold of the radiator a little bit, pull out on it. One thing you gotta be careful on is your hoses. Just get both your bolts started in their holes. Once we have our hardware started, we're gonna go ahead and fully tighten it all up. So now we're gonna go ahead and tighten up our bolts, securing our new shock tower brace to the frame of the machine. Just gonna go ahead and fully tighten our hardware here. We'll go ahead and get our two bolts that attach the upper portion of the radiator to the shock brace. We'll go ahead and fully tighten the hardware. Then we'll go ahead and reinstall our hardware down here that secures the radiator to the bulkhead of the machine. Next, we're going to go ahead and reinstall our front fascia to our machine after we've already tightened our hardware. Just going to get it all slid back into position here. Make sure everything's lined back up properly. Make sure nothing's in a bind. I like to just go through and kind of look everything over, make sure it's where I want it. So we're going to go through, reinstall our hardware, make our connections that we unplugged for our wiring as well as our fan. And that's how super quick and easy it is to install SuperATV's heavy-duty shock tower brace on this Can-Am Maverick X3. For more information on this shock tower brace or any of SuperATV's great products, feel free to give us a call at 855-743-3427 or check us out online at superatv.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.